Welcome to this week's edition of Bophelong with myself, Mosimodi, taking you through the next half an hour of greatness, innovation, and all things that make us proud to be Africans. This week, we introduce you to sisters behind the Yamama Gemmer beverage. Who knew that an old family tradition would turn out to be a lucrative business? Well, it did, and Rosemary Padi and her sister Mosimodi Makgato are cashing in on their ginger beer recipe that they inherited from their mother. Here is more on that story.
Here are two sisters that turn their love of their favorite drink into an international business. Mosimodi Makgato and Rosemary Padi took their early childhood memories and held on to them, eventually creating something great from it.
My father was a priest, so we were very much brought up in the church, with my mother being very active in the church and teaching people how to cook and how to grow their own vegetables. She was very much a kind of, let me teach you how to be self-reliable type of person. So we were taught to be very self-reliable.
Gemmer is a homemade ginger beer that is loved and embraced by most South African households. The two sisters vividly remember their mama's specially made Gemmer.
So we grew up with it, like any South African household, most households will know someone who makes Gemmer the best in the family, in the wider family. Because Gemmer being a staple at functions, at ceremonies, you have to have Gemmer. There'll always be someone who makes the Gemmer and it's brought to that function and it has to be drunk, and there's that one person that's trusted, and our mother was one of those people in our family circle.
Always having visitors at home, the two sisters learned one must-have drink for all their visitors.
Because our father was a priest, we had to welcome so many people in our family. We had guests from Germany, we had guests from America, we had local guests, and every time they come, my mother would make a feast, and make sure that there's going to be plenty of food to accommodate whoever's going to be a vegetarian, whoever's going to enjoy the fish or the chicken, or
she would the key entertainer.
She would make sure that everything is there. And at the same time, for me, even though it wasn't a Christmas day or Easter, Gemmer was key in any of the celebrations at home.
Their mother, Mapule Makgato, says she taught her girls many things, but Gemmer was their favorite.
But anyway, that's why he did the mix.
Gemmer, like a delicacy, ya mekete. So ge go na le mokete mo kerekeng, bomme ba tla batlo dira Gemmer. Ke mo ke ithutileng gona go bona bomme ba mo kerekeng ba dira Gemmer. And then ka ba le interest ge ba re mamketeketa a sa khona a khone go tla today, and tshwantse re e dule 3 days gore e be ready for drinking ka Sondag ke tla idea and ba hwetse e le right.
Mrs. Makgato says she believes in her girls' business and now even has a broader understanding about business.
They are soft. It means they are ready. They're going to be.
Ke maketse gore ba tla go di shabang business go ya gore ba hwetse megolo e be ba e gola mo be ba bereka gona. Mara ge re dutse re theletša re bona mo TV batho ba dirile sela and ba phela ka bona gore ke ntwe e ka kgonegang even le mo bona bona.
Mama's loved ginger beer turned into Yamama Gemmer, a brand loved and known by Gemmer lovers across the country.
She's the one who inspired the idea of taking it into market. So we decided to call it Yamama, and we also find that Yamama resonates with almost every South African, black, white, Indian, colored, who has grown up with somebody, an aunt, a grandmother, a mother who made Gemmer.
Mrs. Makgato was overjoyed to be part of the legacy of Yamama Gemmer.
Nna ba mpotsa gore ba ibitsa Yamama because ba ithutile gemere mo nna wa bona. So yeah, ya nthabisha taba gore ba gopola gore tsebo e ba nang le yona e tswa kae go mama bona bona.
The two sisters didn't expect their mom's special recipe of ginger beer to be this loved by everyone, but since it is, they're marching on with the brand.
In one day. 500 ml concentrate.
The sisters' business is about conserving their tradition and ensuring that the great beverage doesn't fade into history. We have more of this business savvy sisters after the break.
It's more than a gift, it's capturing summer magic. Get a Galaxy S7 Edge in blue coral for 599 Rand per month on Smart S, plus a Gear VR headset or an accessory kit.
ANC moved to ease tensions created by the heated public spat between National Treasury and Eskom.
Eskom denied allegations of impropriety regarding the matter. National Treasury issued a statement accusing Eskom of lying.
The fracas over hairstyles at a Pretoria school has drawn sharp focus on underlying racism and alleged abuse in some schools.
We want relevant answers from the MEC. You must fire the principal.
Here too, similar sentiments of underlying racism.
It just made me feel like I was not worthy enough of an education because of the type of hairstyle that I had. Because yesterday the statement was, writing an exam is a privilege.
A presumed U.S. drone strike in the south of the country has killed 3 Al-Qaeda suspects.
Death toll in Yemen's 18-month-old civil war now stands at about 10,000.
People get killed or die and are actually buried before they're recorded, and we don't have a way of recording that, but we know the numbers are much higher.
Water restrictions are to be imposed on villages in and around the Nkomazi municipality.
Pumps can't pump the water because there's no water in a river, and if the water is coming back, then it's full of mud.
Those who can pray and those who can do any miracle to make sure that we've got enough rain, give it a try.
Welcome back to the show. Rosemary Padi left her job in IT back in 2015 to focus on their business they call Yamama Gemmer, the small business she runs with her sister Mosimodi. A year later, her sister followed suit, and today the sisters are self-employed, all because of their mother's ginger beer recipe. They share this and more on this next insert.
What makes dreams come true? What really influences a person to follow doing what they love? Let's hear that from Rosemary and Mosimodi as they followed their love for organic food and a special ginger beer taught by their mother.
When she was busy doing gemere, we saw her doing it, and we understood the process that went behind gemere. I mean, because we enjoyed it so much, we also wanted to learn how to do gemere. So our mother's a big influence behind it. Hence, we call to the brand now Yamama Gemmer because of her.
Rosemary says the passion started before they could realize it being one.
While working, we actually started a catering company with my sister, and we did it for a couple of years, and while we were doing it, we realized that we could also be taking the gemere that our mother made, and she was making it in a concentrate, and it was conveniently packaged that she did, and we could take it to market. So we tested it that way through the catering functions that we're doing.
She lets us in on how small they started as a business.
we did small events. We probably did a funeral or two. That was hectic. But the smaller events were particularly for people who wanted good food and were prepared to pay for food.
When South Africa was granted the opportunity to host the FIFA 2010 World Cup, the ladies leaped to the opportunity. That's when they saw the inception of a real business being possible.
We wanted to give the people who were coming into the country around the festivities of 2010 World Cup an experience of a South African experience. And that's when we started it. But we got too busy with other activities to run with it full time. But that's when the whole concept of Gemmer started.
Juggling work and their passion, things didn't push as fast as they would have liked.
It was very slow. Very slow. At the time, we needed to change perception of Gemmer amongst people because they had bad experiences with Gemmer. Be it somebody made it too strong, or somebody didn't make it too nice, or people used the artificial flavorings of the ginger. So we needed to change people's mindset before we could literally get into the market and say we are able to do the Gemmer without any preservatives, using natural ginger and still keep it as original.
In as much as their initial plan was for 2010, this is why they continued with the business beyond 2010.
People are busy. It got to a point where now people were career-driven. People, ideally, the people who would be making Gemmer got career-driven. And the ones who used to make Gemmer were tired or were no longer there. So we saw the opportunity to say we are providing a convenience in a bottle for you, where you just buy the concentrate of a 5 liter and go take it home, dilute it into a 20 liter bucket, and that would be ideal for your funerals and your weddings and family gatherings. So we saw the gap in creating the solution of convenience.
The business growing daily, the two sisters had to take drastic decisions for their business' sake.
Rosemary's in the IT industry, and I was in the marketing industry, two different fields. So we were busy with our 8 to 5, and then after hours come back home and go to Rosemary's cottage and brew this ginger beer. And our weekends we would be now doing deliveries and doing events as well, making sure that we cover the needs. And as the demand grew, we decided this needs more attention, and Rosemary left her job to focus on this. And I recently left my job too.
Rosemary did not only have to leave her senior position, her family structure was changing too.
I had just recently divorced when I took the jump. And I have 2 kids, 17 and 11 now. So they had just come from a situation where, things are breaking up at home, and now there's no longer going to be the DSTV channels that they know about. And the Jaguar had to go, and I had to sell the house. And so that changes a lot in the home. But I think the important thing was bringing them along.
Rosemary says the Gemmer business gave her purpose again.
So more than just for the kids, I think it's for the country, for black women, to say what's possible. And actually it's something that can be as laughable as ginger beer. Because when we started, even now, you come across people who think, what, you doing business in ginger beer? So for me, it's the legacy of what have we created in this time that the Mandelas have fought for our freedom to be able to express ourselves uniquely. And I think it's that expression that I'm fighting for.
Mosimodi says nothing assured them that selling their mom's special Gemmer recipe would be successful.
We push to make sure that we have bread and butter on our tables. But at the same time, we need to make sacrifices of the luxurious things that we used to have and now cut down on certain lifestyles elements. So it's one of those life choices that we needed to do. And where we are right now, I can say we are content.
Although happy and living their lives not materially bound, here are some of the things they had to give up.
Moving from big houses to flats, for example, cutting down on buying the clothes, cutting down on traveling, cutting down on spoiling our kids.
There was no reason to stop this venture from succeeding, not even the greatest mighty procrastinator of most dreams, fear.
What if there's no money? That's the deepest fear for anyone. So what do? You can't pay the school fees anymore. Those are the fears that come up. And those are the things that you actually think, I'm not going to go into this. I'm going to stay in this comfortable situation where I know for sure I get paid at the end of the month. That takes away the creativity that is just yearning inside of you. And you want to bring it out. You want to fight all odds.
The sisters share their business milestones with us when we return from the ad break.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the man who takes the party from zero to hero, from bland to grand, from average to way above average. The guy who toots the party train horn and says, "All aboard! You are indeed a party comrade, and we salute you with a bottle of Chivas Regal 12-year-old blended Scotch whiskey, plus 2 glasses for just $279.99, exclusive to Tops at Spa."
What is a national anthem and why do we need national anthems?
A national anthem becomes an instrument to foster social cohesion, identity, to create a sense of identity of a country.
It does happen that people feel that they cannot commit to what the national anthem does.
Unity is not formed from the sky. People don't just despise the national anthem, but it is because of certain things that are actually happening. The issue of languages, for instance. The issue of apartheid statues and monuments.
Welcome back to the show. Rosemary and Mosimodi now employ 8 agents to deliver products to various areas in Gauteng. They plan to export this product to other countries. Let's hear from the sisters about all of their plans for the future.
Content and fulfilled are the words the two sisters used to describe a journey following their passion and love for an organic lifestyle. Brought up in a home where their mother taught them to make everything from scratch, the two ladies are grateful. They celebrate their mother through their latest product called Yamama Gemmer.
Our mother's always been one of those ladies who would make sure that there's going to be food on the table. You know, back in the days when we were growing up, she'd sell vegetables, but we never thought of it as her being entrepreneurial. You know, for us, it was like, she's being herself. Only when we were growing up at a later stage, we actually realized that our mother is a businesswoman. You know, she's been a businesswoman. This is when we are understanding ourselves that we actually are businesswomen, and therefore our mother has been a business, and we are taking so much strength from her because she would be able to encourage us and say, you know, when seasons are down, you know, focus your energies on certain things so that you don't lose out a lot. So she's there to encourage us all the time.
The year 2016 has brought more for them to celebrate.
This year has been a good year. In terms of exposure, we've done so many events. The one event that we've always wanted to do was the Delicious Food Festival, and for us to be part of that, it really, we just got acknowledgement that our brand is in par with premium brands out there. I mean, Delicious Food Festival caters for well-known chefs, well-known food trucks, you know. We were in the midst of Siba and Reza. So for us being at the Delicious Food Festival was amazing. We also were invited to the diplomatic fair. That for us was also another highlight. There we were exposed to different countries, and we also got to learn about other different countries' cuisines. Us being part of the Proudly SA as well, which we've also wanted to be part of, which came this year, has been the best thing for our brand, because now we can walk around and say we are Proudly SA.
Their different conveniently packaged bottles allows all types of customers to buy.
When we did the convenience in a bottle, which is the Yamama Gemmer concentrate, we were doing a concentrate version of our ginger beer, simply because we wanted to provide convenience to say you take the concentrate, go mix it with water at home, and you are sorted. From that, we had the 5-liter bottles, which dilutes to 20 liters, and then we have the 2-liter. The 2-liter would then be for like a home consumption, where you're having a little group of people at home, and you take the 2-liter, dilutes to 8 liters. And then we found people saying that they stay alone, they needed something that would accommodate them, and then we had the 500 ml concentrate bottle. This makes 2 liters, and this is for when you are all by yourself at home. The ready to drink is a recent introductory brand product in the Yamama brand, and purely because there was a demand from the people saying, this is too good, I can't wait to get home to mix it with water, I need to drink it now. And we needed to then listen to the people and say, we're going to be making a ready to drink for you guys.
Humla Makaluza loves everything about Yamama Gemmer.
I like the fact that, I think not many people thought of actually making, this Gemmer for us to come and buy it. I like the fact that it's ready-made, easy access now. And and it tastes good. It tastes very nice.
Experiencing the growth of the business proves that whatever you believe in your heart, never doubt.
The fulfillment is bigger than the safety that came with being in corporate. You feel you're achieving. I can't say that I've hit the end of the road of I've achieved. I'm successful. Thank you. But it's there, and I guess when you accept that it's not where you get to, but it's the journey.
saying to them, you can sell my syrup in Zimbabwe, you can sell my syrup.
Another exciting venture to the business is the exporting training that they're undergoing for the Yamama Gemmer product to go overseas.
As this company, we're not just fighting for putting a product out there. It's also about what are the support structures that exist for businesses, which are so difficult to come by. So again, how I found out about the exports training was not even through the DTI structures that exist around exports. It was, through a friend who said, listen, somebody's looking for a product like this in Zimbabwe. He's coming to present to the Exports Council. Do you want to come? And I went, and I actually found that it was in the middle of an exports training program, and I asked, can I join? And that's how I ended up there. And it came at an opportune time because we want to export. That's one of our ambitions. And we are finding that there is so much that you need to do to prepare to get into export.
Like most businesses, Yamama Gemmer has plans of expanding their business.
Through the year, as we were doing all of our activities, we were also doing research on what could be done to our product. It's either we're expanding or we modifying it, or we adding another brand to another product to it. So we might be doing additional products. We might be having variations of what we're doing right now. We might be looking at adding things to our gemmer that we can't disclose now. So 2017 is going to be a year where we are experimenting with beautiful things, and we hope the market will be ready for that.
No matter how tiny your dreams may seem, following them can make you the biggest influencer to those not courageous enough. Yamama Gemmer definitely inspires all of us to pursue our dreams.
It's really great to see our traditional reserves be reinvented by our own African entrepreneurs. Well, that's all we had for you this week. We have more for you next week. Until then, goodbye.